fellas.
Okay.
The chicken Alfredo.
Barbecue sesame, straight up tomato and Colby, and that has got sausage and basil in it. In the morning, I am exhausted. Conor McGregor has a few extra bruises on his face. I always get nervous when I'm making a lot of food for a lot of people. It's just one of those nervous tics that I have. It's just I'm always setting such a high standard for myself, making sure, it can't just be good ribs. They have to be great ribs. It can't just be a good burger. It's got to be a great burger. When I'm catering to a party, I always have done a good job. Right now, I would love to explain to you more about who I was catering to and how I met them, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So the next time my hand swipes over the screen, it's going to be tomorrow morning, nice and sunny out.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. 'Cause they fill the open air and leave teardrops everywhere. You'd think me rude, but I would just stand and stare. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems when I fall asleep.
Back to this spot in like 3 years. Let me change the angle on this because I'm looking up a lot and it's starting to hurt my head. A lot of things hurt my head. There. That's a little better. Talked about how I brought my niece down to the show back in 2014 for the Jay Cutler Classic. Approximately 1 month after that, I started working with a posing instructor named Bruno. Bruno! Not his first name, by the way. I literally ran up to him and begged him to be my posing instructor. November 1st, 2014, okay? Wrote about it in the original No Excuses article. Without good posing, you will never place top 5. No sleep, my brain was fried, and thankfully through a last-ditch effort, through his guidance, I was able to get that one trophy that I wanted the entire time. It wasn't first place, it wasn't a class winner. After the checks stopped coming, generally a lot of the people that you're in contact with, that you've done your nutrition with, or that you've done your posing with, or you've trained with, a lot of them tend to disappear. You never really hear from them again. They just sort of collect their money and go. Because apparently nowadays, everybody thinks they are a nutritionist, everybody thinks they're a posing instructor, everybody thinks they're a personal trainer, when in fact, they all suck. Fact is, when the money stopped flowing, Bruno still called. Bruno still texted. Bruno still kept up with me through all these years. Just in the most randomest of times, when I was at my happiest, when I was at my lowest, Bruno kept calling. Bruno kept texting. Bruno kept inviting me over to do stuff. Whenever he needed something. Whenever he wanted me to cook. whenever he wanted to hang out. Didn't really, I don't know. It was just so random, but I was always, almost always in his thoughts. No matter what was going on, he was always checking up on me. He knew half the time I probably wouldn't even take his advice, but the fact is that the door was almost always open. We've had many disagreements. We still have many disagreements. We still yell at each other half the time, but I owe a lot to him just as an individual, not just as a posing instructor. Other people deserve credit for this site and for its mild success that it's had, okay? Because it's sparked work for other people. It's gotten, people deserve that recognition. This site was never to be about me. And I'm glad that my niece has had some of the success that she's had. I'm glad to know Bruno and collaborate with him on so many different things. In my ever shrinking circle of people I can trust, he's always been right around the middle, and I've only known him for 3 years. But in that moment of desperation where I was seeking guidance and I had nowhere else to go, I clung on to him with almost all of my trust right at that very moment. And surprisingly, through everything else that I've been through the rise and fall and rise again of the website, he's still there. And I, just want to say thank you to him and to everybody else that's been around him this entire time, because as much credit as he sometimes doesn't take for himself, even though he is a subtly cocky individual, whereas I am more robust in my gloating, I really think he deserves more credit than he is given. He truly is a great source of knowledge for so many things other than just posing. Just want to say thank you to him and his lovely fiance, who for some reason puts up with me whenever I walk into his house. There's a lot of things as a vlogger that you really want to check off your quote video bucket list. One of them is, of course, a morning sunrise time lapse. You have to get up really, really early. You gotta find a good spot to shoot, and you have to sit there and you have to wait, which means I have to get up tomorrow at about 3:30 in the morning, drive all the way to the seacoast and plant my camera. Am I gonna be tired? Yes. Am I gonna do it just for the hell of it? Absolutely. Because I haven't done it yet. All right, I've done sunset stuff, I've flown drones, but it's some of those things you have to learn how to do just so you can sharpen those skills. It's important to understand that even though these transitions, such as drone flying or time lapses or random views of the city, even though they're just transition shots and they generally don't mean much to the actual plot of the video that you're trying to put out, it's important to sharpen those skills and actually do them so that when you go to do them later, you have a much easier concept of just how to set everything up. I'm gonna do this little stupid thing just because I have to do it. I'm gonna get up really, really early. I'm gonna drive to the seacoast tomorrow. It'll take me about a half hour to get there. If for nothing else, if you listen to absolutely nothing that I say, which is totally cool with me, at least for nothing, you'll get a really pretty shot of the ocean. I know I can deliver that. Let me do that hand thing one more